Handbook. If you did not grab a handbook when you came in, please make sure you get one. They're up there in the corner. It probably looks a little overwhelming at first, and those of you who have done it before are pretty much used to this drill. Those who are new, welcome. This is just kind of an information to kind of help welcome you, what to expect, what's going on, and also introduce you to everyone who's involved. You've met me. I'm Courtney. Next person would be Crystal Robinson. Crystal, if you can stand up. She's our vocal director. She is my right-hand person for anything, and she is next in charge, and if it's not me, it's Crystal. And between us, we organize pretty much everything, and it's crazy. Next would be Brian King. He is not here tonight. He's our orchestra director. The thing that is really cool is last year, those of you who did the show, we didn't have a live orchestra. So last year, we had to pretty much rebuild the program because of COVID the year before. Our show got canceled the week before we opened. And our budgets for this show are very high, and I will get into that a little bit later. Basically, we lost all the money in the account. Normally, we start with an account of $10,000. Last year, we started with the account of only $1,000. And our show was basically a $63,000 show last year. So with a lot of community outreach, sponsorships, and everything coming in, we ended up making $23,000 on the show last year, which is incredible. So coming back, last year we didn't do an orchestra to save money, but now that we have that funds again, we are able to do that. So it's a full show this year. So last year's show was a lot shorter time. This year's show will be about 2 hours, 2.5 hours when you see it, plus a live orchestra. Next person in charge, it would be Christian Drew. Christian Drew is our choral director. He is a teacher over at Olympia. I should also say that Crystal is a teacher in the high school, and I also teach in the high school as well. And then Misty Irwin, who is walking in, she is our technical director. So she does all the stuff backstage with tech crew and everything else. Kelly Larkin is the person that you are going to receive emails from. You've probably already gotten a couple from Gans Theater, hopefully. That is my mom. So she sends out all the emails. She'll get stuff from all the directors and relay it to you. So she's just another person just to know. She is also in charge of our finance, just to help keep track of that along with the students. Then next we have Samantha Thompson. Sam, if you can stand up. Sam's our associate choreographer. Then I have Megan Widow, who is our hip hop choreographer. She's not here tonight, she had to work. And then we have a student choreographer this year, which is Nathan Lips, who is behind me. Stand up. There you go. I have a full choreography team this year because this show is so dance heavy and choreography based. Plus I'm getting older and I need help. Why do we do this? Obviously to provide an opportunity for the students. We give back to the community in different ways with it too. We have a F.A.N night where different elementary schools come in and they give back to the charities that we support that year, and all the money from those F.A.N nights go right to them, which is an awesome thing to use our talents to give back. So over the years, we have been able to donate over $400,000 to children's charities in the Rochester area. It allows the students to use and find their talents, discover new passions, create and build the community, not only literally on stage where we're building the sets, but building friendships and a new family. And students to express themselves through the arts, and obviously to have fun. What to expect. Communication. You're gonna get a lot from us, especially in those emails. Please check your emails. Please check the website. The easiest way I can explain to get to the website is go to Google and literally just type in GAMS Theater. It is the first one that pops up. Leadership and guidance from all the directors, the team. We have multiple years of experience. I was a student here at Athena. I started in the program in 2003, and I never left. Literally in high school, I was the student choreographer, then I became the choreographer, and then I became the director. So it is literally my second home, and it is what I look forward to every year, even more so than my job. A caring and nurturing environment. Our passion is to work with kids. That's why we are teachers, and that's why we're here and we love what we do. High expectations for the kids. If you've ever seen an Athena show, it's an incredible experience and high quality. Our middle school can usually compete with some college level musicals. An outstanding show. Volunteer. We do require volunteer from the families. We ask for at least 10 hours overall the entire time. And that's over 4 months from now until April when our show is. But we do ask for before the show and during the show to volunteer. There are options to volunteer before, like building sets, getting involved with chaperoning, different things along those, but then also during the show, you can help sell merchandise for concessions, be an usher. There's different opportunities. Support your children academically. In the handbook, I want to point that out. I'm just trying to find where it is. It is on page 6. In your handbook, you will see there is a district policy for all students about the grade they have to keep. If they have 1 F, they can still fully participate. However, we are going to put them on probation and do runarounds, and they have to get those grades up. If they have 2 Fs, they can still rehearse, but they cannot perform. So the thing is, if it's that 5 weeks right before our show, they have 2 Fs, I'm sorry, it's done at that point. 3 Fs, they're automatically out. So, grades are super important to keep those up. If they need help, make sure they talk to their teachers. If they have a rehearsal, just reach out to one of us. Let us know, hey, we really need help in science class. Stay after for the science is okay in this. Just communicate with us. That's all we ask. Okay? Like I just said, also communicate. Communication is huge. You will also see for attendance, we do ask, it says 3 or more misses without communication could result in recasting. It doesn't mean they can't miss those 3 rehearsals, it's fine. They can even miss 5, 6, 7, depending on what it is, but you need to communicate with us. All we're asking is, hey, send us an email saying, hey, I won't be here today. And it can come from the students. It doesn't have to come from the parents. They can email us and say, I can't be there today, I have a doctor's appointment. Or it can come from the parents, either way. We just ask for communication. Same thing, check your emails daily for updates, and the website. If you check the website already, the handbook is already up there, plus the rehearsal schedule for January. And then again, communication. You have a question, clarification, just reach out. Let us know. Students' responsibilities. Like I said, keep your grades up, okay? They are monitored. We have to check them every 5 weeks and every quarter. So we need to know what your grades are. Checking rehearsal schedules and attend. And then if you can't, just let us know. Be respectful, responsible, productive. Hopefully you have heard that before. Yes? The reason why number 4 is in there for COVID guidelines. Every year it's different. Every year it changes. Right now we have nothing. Before, we've had to wear masks. Last year, we literally were planning for masks for the show up to a week before. So, and then district dropped that policy. So it just depends. So that's the only reason why that's in there right now, because you never know with things changing. Please don't forget to have fun. Celebrate. Again, one thing though is bullying is totally not allowed. That is right in here in our handbook as well. Also in the contract that many of you have already turned in. We've already gotten it from about 50% of the cast, which is amazing. For the contract, it states that there is no bullying, person or cyber. It is not tolerated. Otherwise, unfortunately, you will be asked to drop the show. Please, for parents, fill out forms. Number one right now is just safety. Because this is something a little bit different, Crystal last year taught in the middle school. So Crystal was able to have access to Infinite Campus for the middle school for all students' communication purposes. This year the staff is not in the middle school. We are here in the building, we're in high school. We don't have access. That's why on so many forms, it's asking for your email. It's asking for phone numbers because we want to have a list of, in case something happens at a rehearsal, who do we call? Who do we need to contact? Okay, because I can't just go on the computer and pull it up. I would then have to call Jason or one of the VP and hopefully they pick up. And if they don't pick up, my next call then is already 911. Okay, so please make sure that you get that contact to us. Read, follow directions on forms. Again, check those emails. Send forms and payments in on timely. When it talks about payments, we'll get in there. Everything is optional. So we will talk about that in a little bit. And please be on time for pickup and drop off. Especially when we do get into Saturday rehearsals. For Saturday rehearsals, the building is only open till 3. And then it's a hard close down. So anyone that's in the building has to be outside, and it's cold. So please be on time to pick up your children. Please look at the rehearsal schedule. We try to do it in chunks, like we already have the entire January one out that will start next week. Again, if you have a conflict, just email us. We're pretty flexible. We work with people. I promise we also know that a lot of kids have dance, they have sports. That happens. With those things, we also try to move when rehearsals are. So if you have a conflict, we can just, okay, they might not be able to be there that one day, but they'll be there at the next rehearsal. So things get made up. If they're not there, students can work with friends. We also take videos of all the dancers, and hopefully everyone has joined the Google Classroom at this point, because we post all the videos right there in the Google Classroom for them, so they can watch it to make things up. Any payments that are done via check or with cash. So if you choose to order a DVD, if you choose to order a sweatshirt, that just has to be with a cash or check. The only thing that we will have card options for are tickets at the pre-sale and at this show, and merchandise as well. Like I just said, please understand, any payments are totally optional. We do sell cast snacks, sometimes during the rehearsals and at the shows, but even that's not really enough to like fully feed your kids. During the shows, they do get a chance to go home in between, or they can stay. But please send them with food. Don't let them go hungry, please. Okay. Volunteer now, and then until April, so the last 2 weeks of April. Pre-production requirement. Like I said, we are no longer asking, we are requiring at least 10 hours of volunteer from the family, but again, it's overtime must. And it might not be, everyone has different abilities and what they can do. Some jobs are very easy, it's just making phone calls. So you don't even ever have to be here. Sometimes it could be like, hey, if you're good at doing a program, You can join that team. There's different opportunities, and we'll get through what is there for the volunteer opportunities. How can we get involved? Let us tell you. So, our first thing, volunteer coordinator. Okay? A volunteer coordinator is the person that organizes where all the volunteers are. Okay? So it is, usually they keep some type of spreadsheet. Terry did it for us last year, but now she's moving into even a bigger role this year. So she kept like a whole spreadsheet organized, okay, this person's in charge of this. And then she would, if we had still an opening, she would call people who haven't signed up for things. And be like, hey, can you do this for us? And it's very helpful. It's just keeping that organization and who's doing what and help coordinate where positions are open still. Production coordinator. This is like our major job. They run our production meetings. They keep everything in check, and that is Tim Robinson, who I know is not here at the moment. It is Crystal's husband. So he knows everything that's going on between Crystal and I. And Terry is joining because their daughters will be going into high school, not next year, but the year after. So Terry's joining on to train to learn how to do that position because Terry will be with us for quite a while still. Then we have two student production coordinators, both Kara Jansen and Aiden Labor. They are here to kind of help wherever is needed. They assist. You will see them around. I don't know, Marcy, did Aiden come with you today?
He's studying for an exam.
Oh, he's studying for exam, okay. But they are there kind of wherever we're needed. They help organize all high school volunteers as well. Then we have the costume committee. Our team leader for that, our costume design is Steph Roberts. It is Steph Schmidt from last year. She just got married. So it is the same person. From there, we have two co-leaders with her, Donna Schmidt and then Sarah Piscotti. Is Sarah? Yep, Sarah's right there. So the thing for costumes, if you want to come and help with costumes, they have costume nights where it's like, hey, this Tuesday night we're going to work from 6 to 8:30 or something like that, right, Sarah? But the thing is, for costumes, you don't need to know how to sew.
But if you do,
There you go. It is a bonus if you do. But what is needed? Cutting, gluing, sewing, sorting, organizing, labeling, all the different things with costumes. Hey, this person's going to this, put this together, pull things from our extensive costume room. If any of you have ever walked in our costume room, you will be blown away. It is quite huge, and we have multiple locations of storage in the building. The nice thing too is Sarah also does the high school, so it's a nice coordination of her in the high school as well, plus in the middle school to know what's going on and where everything is. One big question that we always do get is shoes. What shoes should my kid be wearing? I don't have that answer for everything right now, okay? Because if you are a lead role, supporting lead role, or a type of fish, Miss Steph will probably give you specific costumes of, hey, I need you to wear black shoes, character shoes, a jazz shoe, something like that. I will tell you right now, for the tappers, they are going to need flat taps so they can do toe to stands. The other thing too is for the hip hop number, if they are one of the hip hop dancers for Plankton's backup dancers, they have them wear sneakers in that number. They will probably have some type of sneaker for when they actually perform. Otherwise, when they come to rehearsal, just to practice, jazz shoes, sneakers, whatever they're comfortable in wearing.
pardon me, and the tap shoes, do they have to be beige or black?
Black. Good question, thank you. Yep, black. Borrowing shoes, though, are totally fine. It does not have to be your own shoe. Tickets. We have team leads, which is Erica Kulowski and Julia Wood, who are both over here. Right now in your calendars, you might want to put that there's going to be a parent presale, and I think the time in here is actually incorrect. It should be till 1 p.m.
No.
It's till 12?
12, yeah.
Till 12, then I think the parent packet might be wrong. It is till 12 then, so 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. right in the GPAC, and it's going to be Saturday, March 4th. What it is you guys will have the first pick to get tickets right there in the lobby. All tickets this year are reserved seating. They are not open like we did last year. So you will be able to pick your seats, have them reserved, and then after that, within the week, the rest of the tickets then we will have the option through email, which is at gamstickets@gmail.com or at showtixforyou.com, where you can order it right there online. Handicap seating though has to be bought at the presale or by contacting, again using gamstickets@gmail.com. And then they are looking to train someone in the 1 to 2 next years because their children will be going to high school, unfortunately. So if that is something you are interested in for tickets, please let us know. And also during the shows, they need 1 to 2 parents per show just to help sell tickets at the ticket booth.
Can I just say one thing?
Absolutely.
Two really quick things. It's really important, if you know your family and friends are going to come, try to get their orders and either have them Venmo you the money ahead of time, because the more money we get up front and not have to pay show ticks for you, etc., this goes into the operating budget of the show. So this money helps go towards costumes, sets, etc. And the other thing I have to say is it is a slow process because we don't have the maps electronically. Because we are doing it pre-sale and we're doing it through the computer, it takes a little time. We mark off what seats you have. So just keep in mind, be patient because it does take a little bit of time. And bring your duck and bring us some too. And I'll be good. VIP stuff.
I know I'm going to get this question, so I'm just going to address it right now. Yes, tickets last year were $10. The difference, though, is last year it was a junior show, so the show was shorter. This year it's a full, like I said, 2-hour show, possibly a little bit longer, just depending with the intermission. And we have full orchestra, so there is a lot more to offer in this show. The other thing, too, is a junior show. I will tell you right now, I only had to pay $7,000 for the rights for a junior show. For this show, I have to pay $20,000. It's a big difference. Okay, so for the rights of a show, for a musical, that is why these are $12. Our tickets have normally always been $12 for the show. Last year was a little bit different, okay? Sets. Sets where we're building. Lots to go into this. Misty and Dave and myself, we met on Wednesday to go over the design. It's gonna be awesome. Dave Schmidt right here is our set designer. John Thompson, who I don't think is here, it is Sam's husband, is our construction lead. So he will be at the set builds and saying, hey, this is what I need you to build today, and different things like that. I know Tim Robinson and Dan also do the Vortex. Backstage, which is like the whole thing that flies our sets in and out, and it's quite extensive. But we've had multiple dads and moms join. Use power tools. It's amazing. Also, our technical director, who is also kind of in charge of tech crew. I know this right now is mainly our casting here because our crew is not signed up yet, but if you have friends or a sibling that might be interested in also joining crew, we are looking for 1 to 2 parents just to help out backstage as well as with Misty. But Misty will take that guide and say, hey, this is what we need to do, where everyone needs to be, but it's just help to coordinate the kids to go to somebody. What we need, building painting, creativity. If you're an engineer, we love to have you. Organizing, lighting and sound, it's mainly for students. We now have lighting and sound people that want students involved. So it's another opportunity for students to join and learn more about theater. Props. I have Maxine and Steve right here. They run props for us. Their attention to detail is like none other. They work with tech crew at scheduled sessions, which means, okay, they work with Misty and they're like, out of tech crew, who's interested in being in the prop crew, okay? And then we have actual times like Saturdays to make the props. Sometimes it might be at a night, usually it's Saturdays though, right?
Always
Prop
Saturdays.
session, yeah, mostly Saturdays. Please watch, there's a typo in that, via email or website for items to donate or loan. So sometimes we might say, hey, we need beach balls. If you got any extra at home, send them in, stuff like that.
Lots this year.
We need lots of beach balls.
We're gonna need lots of
Yeah.
stuff this year.
Just a lot in general. There's going to be a ton of props. If you have watched this musical, it's a big prop show in general. So when we are making those props, if you're a creative person and you want to be here like while your kid is rehearsing and you come in and you can help make props, it's fun. Creative arts and crafts, it's always a great time. We have a lot of fun in there too.
And wrangle all the kids.
Yes. Again, help coordinate student prop crew during tech week and during the shows. And like I said, this is a major prop show. Sponsors. This year's budget is about $80,000 for this show. Like I said, $20,000 already of that was just the rights of the show. But then we have to build the set. We have to buy costumes. We have to buy props. We have to buy literally any media, so any sign we make. We get no money from district at all. We are a completely self-funded extracurricular. So with that, sponsorships is huge. It's how we make most money. Last year we made $19,000 alone just with sponsorships, which is unheard of, especially because of coming out of COVID. Marcy Lieber is right here, and I will tell you she is the queen of sponsors. I also have to say though, last year, I know Terry was on this as well, but Angela was a huge help as well. They ran that. It was insane. Here's the good news. If you want to join sponsors team, we will take anybody and everybody. It has no limit. This is where we get most of our money to start the production besides tickets at the pre-sale. To buy the costumes, buy things needed for the set, all of that. This is a huge part, and it's big. In your handbook today, there is already a sponsor's letter in there. So if you know anyone that could be a sponsor, it would be a huge help. Plus, on the way out, we are going to ask you to turn in on page 39 some organizations that you might know for a possible sponsorship. So please, if you can, fill that out. We would like to collect that on your way out today. Things with the sponsorships that's needed, there is a sponsor letter that's already in there. You give that right there, but here's the cool thing. We already have our title sponsor, Steve and James. They have supported us for the last, 6 years about, and they said, we have a working partnership with them, and they said as long as they can, they will always support us and be that title sponsor, which is huge and a huge help to all of us. So the nice thing is we don't have to go after a title sponsor, we have that. So that's why when you look at the sponsor letter, you will see that it is already crossed out and says sold. But it's making phone calls, reaching out to businesses that you might know, driving and delivering sponsors letters and tickets as needed. So if some of our bigger sponsors do get comp tickets, so it's, hey, here's your tickets, or sometimes they'll be right at the ticket door. We'll arrange with them depending on what they need. Making connections and coordinating the receipt of ads that then go to the program. That's what they are buying, is an advertisement in our program. We have thousands of people that come to our shows, which is an awesome opportunity for their businesses to be seen. Sometimes they even like to put coupons into their ads, which is a great thing. Like, hey, use this coupon. It's a great way to get business. But this is how we are able to do our show. Publicity, which is Janelle and Jeff Mantel. Janelle is in the back, right there. Here's the cool thing. Last year when we did a Disney show, Disney does a lot of weird restrictions. We couldn't sing on the news, we couldn't be on the radio, I don't know why. There is absolutely no restrictions with this show. We can be on the news, we can sing, we can post as long as videos as we want. So there is no limits on that. The more publicity we can get, the better. Which is the amazing thing. The only rule for publicity they have is we are not allowed to actually use the cartoon figures for advertising. Otherwise, post, share, once a week. Post it up. Hey, it's coming up in April. Starting it early. Get it out there to the community. Hair and makeup. Michelle Martinez and Gina Musmechi are in charge, but we would like 1 to 2 more people to help with this. This is a big wig and big makeup show. If you have watched the show, it is crazy hair, crazy makeup that will be needed. So during the shows, we have a whole makeup committee that is right there to help kids get their makeup on, get things there. They do have to come though with a base makeup on. If they are a boy, they do have to wear makeup. That is in there. And there is in your handbook, which is nice. It is page, I believe, 17? Page 14. Talks about hair and makeup requirements, what's needed for a base makeup. That's right there. I always get that question every year, so we put it in the handbook this year. Just some basic foundation, eyeliner, blush, so you can be seen from the stage. Now, there are different things where certain things are required, and specifically things we will touch base on. But everyone wears makeup. More specific details as we get closer that will happen, but you can volunteer just to be on the committee to help during the shows with makeup. Checking makeup, make sure makeup is staying on for everyone. Merchandise. Originally, we didn't have a team leader. I already approached parents. The Allisons are taking it over. So, we have Tara and Kevin who are going to take it over. Kevin has always been our person in charge of actually who makes all our shirts and merchandise for us. So it's a perfect role for them to step in. So they are the ones that will organize the things that you're going to get, like how I have right now. I have an Athena staff one, but we have ones that will say Spongebob. Those who have done the shows in the past years, we've done like Frozen. Like Angela, if you want to model the Frozen one from last year, she has it there, right there. Also, merchandise involves selling things right at the show. We'll have stuffed animals. We'll have, again, we might have some more shirts or things and hugs like that there as well. Maybe a beach ball. I don't know. So, but those are things that we get to look at and sell right there. We do need volunteers though to help sell right at the show. When you sell merchandise, it's usually right before the show, intermission, and a little bit after the show. Mitchell's The Mitchells, just so you guys know, since you're taking it over, will help guide you. Love notes. Jill Ball is taking that on this year. I called her this week.
By the way, the room number's wrong on this sheet, so
Okay.
let people know to break 516.
516, thank you. So, for Jill works in the middle school, which is very nice and very helpful. So in your packet here, there is a love note form on page 17. What this is if you choose to purchase a love note, it is, hey, a shout out to your child in the program that the kids get to have. It's a nice thing that they get to cherish and always look back on. And Jill works right here in the middle school, so you can bring it right to her office. 516, you said? So it says the wrong room number on here for Jill. It is 516, so please mark that. 516 is Jill's room number. If you want to do this and you choose to do a love note, you can put it right in an envelope, drop it off, give it to your child, and then drop it off right to Miss Ball in room 516. Medical staff. Now, during Tech Week and during these shows, we need to have some type of medical staff on site. Sam, who is our associate choreographer, is an EMT. So she has coordinated this. She usually will reach out, hey, who is a nurse? We can even take people who are dentists. EMTs, any type of medical training, we can have you be in that role. We look for at least to have one backstage during Tech Week and one backstage during every show. You can sign up for more than one night. You can sign up for one night. But the more that there's there, we need at least one person on staff to do that. Chaperones. Chaperones is a huge thing, especially during Tech Week and especially during the show. We also do have chaperones on certain Saturday rehearsals as we get closer when we have full cast rehearsals. It's usually coming in for an hour and you sit and you get to watch them rehearse. So spend some time with your kids, you get a sneak preview of the show, which is always fun. You can also take pictures while you do it, and videos. So what we do need though is we need a chairperson. A chairperson just to coordinate, hey, these are the parents that signed up for chaperoning, can I have you come in on this date at this time? During the shows, we need chaperones backstage for every dressing room. So every dressing room will have at least one chaperone to make sure nobody is getting hurt or going missing. In there, it's just checking, making sure, hey, everyone's doing okay. We ask, please consider chaperoning for 1 or 2 shows. Obviously, we want you to watch a show, but we have 6 shows. So you don't need to watch every show. Volunteer for a couple, please. Some other places that help is needed is photography team. We have, I know Matt Questionnaire has always done this for us. He's come in and take pictures for us every year. But if you are somebody who would like to take pictures at rehearsals, we'd love to have you. We use those for media, for a slideshow. We need somebody though for a slideshow. At the beginning of each, while people are walking in, we always play a slideshow of those pictures that people take. So if that's something you're interested in making a slideshow at home, that's another great one that you can do right at home. The other thing is we have, usually for publicity, and we can do it this year, is a mall performance. Janelle, just so you know that. We usually get a mall board where we can put all the people in the show, we have pictures, and it promotes the show where people can walk back and forth. So someone who might be interested in that, for doing the display cases. Outside right now, when you walked in, you probably saw Anastasia, which is the high school show. So things like that to display, we put headshots and pictures in there of all the cast when it's time for our show. Cast party. Cast party will be a little different. The reason why last year for our cast party, we were able to do it in between the last two shows was because it was a junior show. Our shows were shorter. This year that is not an opportunity, so what's going to happen is it's going to go back to how it was originally before COVID. We have a full cast party after the last show. Usually the cast is here until about 1 a.m. With all of us. We have a fun night. Parents, there is a surprise there, and we'll get to that later on. We'll send an email out to tell you about that, because we do like to surprise the kids with one exciting thing. For the cast party, though, we need somebody to coordinate that. Just help set up the party. Hey, set up food coming in, and all of cakes, working with Tammy, who donates the cakes to our program, which is awesome, and just organizing it. So if you are a person that is interested in partying, please let us know. Assembly coordinator and drivers. This is new this year. Those who are leads and supporting leads. Not every single student will go, but specific students, and I will reach out to those families. We'll be going to elementary schools this year to do like a 20 to 30 minute assembly. Craig Hill will do an all-day assembly where they do like a dance, acting, singing masterclass with the elementary students to promote the show. So one thing is we usually like to have somebody who is in that assembly team coordinate who's driving when we get those dates of when an assembly is being offered. Again, you don't have to drive for everyone if you want to be the coordinator, it's just organizing who is driving. And then if your child is one of those who are going, we need drivers for those assemblies. Some other positions that are needed is attendance. Our latest attendance person went into high school fully last year. Attendance is just for the Saturdays. When we have Saturday rehearsals, there are no Saturday rehearsals until January 28th right now, because that's just the photos. All it is you're there and you check in kids on Saturday and watch for kids who might not be there, who we don't have any notes from, and then just call and just check in. To say, hey, remember your rehearsal? And if you can't make it, you would just tell them, and that would be communication, just so we know. Concessions, we sell snacks, we sell food. We've had ice cream. Hopefully we can bring that back again this year. For concessions, we need about 4 volunteers per show to sell concessions there. Cast snacks. We're hoping to have some cast snacks back where we just get some snack food and then we sell it during the show, so if kids want goldfish, they can buy a thing of goldfish. They can buy fruit roll-ups. Trying to think other things. Granola bars, just some little things that a kid could buy for some snacks. An option there. Flowers, we have options for flowers. Brandon Malone leads both concessions and flowers for us, but we need volunteers, 2 per show, just to sell them, and then we also have 2 volunteers for that Wednesday and Friday to get flowers and make bouquets. So, which is a nice thing. The cool thing is Broadcastle totally donates to our program, so our flowers, it's a nice profit for us to be able to do more shows in the future and keep our shows going. Ushers, Mike Coffey is right there. He is in charge of ushers and arranging ushers. It is a lot easier this year because we don't have to take off seats because everything is reserved. So basically it is just making sure everyone is safe and making sure they can get to their seat. There is a little uniform that we have you wear. We might have to talk this year, but I don't know what we're doing yet for Spongebob. Last year we did like blue ties and things like that for Frozen. F.A.N night coordinator, Thursday night which is the night before opening night. What we have is we have 2 elementary schools that we team up with, Craig Hill and Autumn Lane. Yeah. Come to Athena and watch our show to give the kids experience with an audience, but they do know ahead of time, hey, this is a dress rehearsal. In case something goes wrong, we might have to stop. But all that money right from that F.A.N night, it goes directly right to charities. Graphic design, we have Jean McCracken and Beth Hughes. Beth already designed one poster for us. It's just a basic one that we have. I know I have sent it out to our team leads already that you might have seen. It is also kind of that opening on the front of the handbook. It's the start of this. There's more to it. It's much bigger. So when it is time, we wait for the high school show to get over, and as soon as the high school show is over, we switch out posters. Our posters are in color. I know the handbook right now is just black and white. House managers. We have Heather Coughlin and we have John Driscoll, who have done it every year. They've done it, well, Heather was new to it last year. She joined us in that team. It's basically just coordinating, making sure the money gets to finance, backstage to be counted, also sometimes help counting, and then making sure that people are safe. You get a walkie-talkie, so you get to feel in charge and communicate.
It's very fancy. If you want to feel fancy, join this team.
We'll kind of become BFFs with the admin team too.
Yes, you get to work with the admin team, or whoever's the admin person on call at night. And you get to say, hey, we get to start the show, so you get to be in charge of saying, let's start. Then we have sound, who is Mike Gazer, and lighting design, Lee Darson. So they are new to our team this year, but are very excited. Mike helped us with sound when it was a COVID year, so he is coming back this year, which is awesome. So that is basic of my slideshow. From there, in your handbook, just a couple things. If you have not done that yet, there is a student contract that both you and your student need to sign. We also sent that out as a Google form. If you send it as a Google form, we already have it, which is awesome. If you have not turned that in, please, you can do it on a Google form, or you can do it here on paper and turn that in. On that contract is due January 13th. If it is not in, then your child is not considered a cast member. So please turn in your contract, okay? Where do we turn in all these beautiful forms? We turn these beautiful forms in the orchestra room. Miss Robinson is the orchestra teacher for the high school, and I know Miss Rutherford is now the middle school orchestra teacher. So it's right there on the 3rd floor. It's the first room in the music wing to the right side, room 507.
Right across from the doors that go into the balcony of the theater.
So it's right across from the balcony there. So any forms you can turn in right there. The only form that's a little different is the love notes that go to Miss Ball.
I would just ask that if you are sending a form in with your child, especially if it has money, no matter if it's a check or cash, please put it in an envelope. Things get separated, and then I'll have a check with a form, and we have no idea what we're going to put, especially if you have a different last name from your kid, or, you know, there's all different things that can happen. So just put it inside something.
And then before you leave today, which we will collect in that box, which is right next to Janelle, if she wants to model it, yes. Before you leave, if you could fill out the sponsorship questionnaire on page 39, that will help us greatly. The other thing is a volunteer form. If you can get that to us within the next week of where you would like to volunteer. Again, that can come into us electronically. We sent this handbook out electronically today, or if you would like to fill it in today and put it right in that box as you walk out, you can do that as well. Okay? I know I went fast, but the thing is, we are so excited to work with your kids and get this going. This is literally my favorite thing that I do all year long. And I look forward to it as much as the kids do. So we are super excited. Our staff will pretty much stay down here, so if you have any questions before you leave, you are welcome to come talk to us, ask us any questions that you might have. Otherwise, have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming.